I'm going to show you two selectors that we can use, and they are used extensively in CSS. One is the class and one is the ID. These two are attributes of elements and they are also selectors. So for example, assume I want to okay, before I introduce that, why would we use this? Assume I want to change the okay, let's just take it simply. Let's just change the color of this. I'm going to say style, and I'm going to change the color of all the paragraphs here into blue. Color, sorry, is blue, and you see that that is blue. So the problem with this is that if we have many different elements that we have to style, then it's very inefficient, because you would have to copy this attribute over to all the others. Now in real life or in industry, you would have maybe many different elements, maybe even thousands of elements that you have to style or select, and you cannot manually do this, what I have done right now. So that's where you would use a class or an ID. Okay, so we use ID when the element is unique. So I'll give this an ID of 8. You can also put some text in here. Okay, when I have given this paragraph an ID, I cannot give this paragraph the same ID I've given this one. Okay, that's the rule with ID. IDs are unique. Okay, so this one I have to give it an ID of, say, paragraph 2. Okay, now we have done this. Okay, we have given these IDs. Now when we use this, we the way we select something is we go to the head, and here I'm going to write some, I'm going to use the style tag, right? Style tag, and then in here, once I have the use the style tag, I'm gonna write some CSS code in here. So the way you would select an ID or an element with an ID of this one, of this sh essentially, is that the syntax is, if you're using ID, then you're gonna put a hash, and then you're gonna do that. Okay, then you're gonna open up curly braces, and then you're gonna write whatever you want to write in here. So I want to change the color to, by the way, let me just refresh this first, so it's back to normal. Okay, so I want to make the color to yellow. I don't know if the comma should be there, but let's just check. Okay, let's just remove the commas, and you can see it's yellow. So that's how you select. We've selected we selected an element with the sh. We can also do the same with this, but the ID is used for single elements. So if you want to select single elements, then you can use that. But we can also, if you want to select multiple elements, then you would use the class. Okay, so the difference between ID and class is that ID is unique, class isn't unique. So I'm going to say this paragraph. Right now I can just simply come over here and copy this, paste it there, right, and I'm going to paste it over here. Now note that this last paragraph doesn't have the class selector. So now I'm going to format all those that have the class selector to red. So here I'm going to write par, but the syntax with ID is that you start with a hash. The syntax of class, when you want to access a class, you put a dot. Alright, so now if I do that, you can see we've selected all the elements that have a class of par, and they're red. except the last one, which we haven't. However, if we were to make that one, so we can do that, and we can refresh, and you can see that it's par as well. So that's just the difference. Class and ID. There's of course more things where this is used. I mean, IDs you can use for like internal links as well, and we're gonna have a look at that too.